Hare Krishna. Can you all hear me? Hari Bol?
Yes, Mataji. Voice is little
Ji,
breaking. We can hear
yeah.
Voice is
Yeah,
low.
actually, Mataji, there is a network problem here because of which the Wi-Fi is not working. So I'll just try to take class from my phone.
Okay.
Is it too low or is it manageable?
It's you can
Now it is okay.
It's okay, Mataji.
Now it's okay. Now it's okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Okay. 1 second. Okay, is it possible for anyone to share the screen with the Veda base? Any of you?
Mataji, I'm logging from a phone, Mataji.
Yeah, Mataji, actually for me, sharing from is a little bit of a challenge. I'll just try. If you have the book,
Yeah, I have got a book, Mataji.
I also have
Mataji, start
Mataji.
reading chapter 7, please.
Okay.
Okay, great. Yes, maybe we can just read from the book
Okay.
till I'm able to share. Okay, yeah, Mataji, please start. Yeah.
I'll start, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji, please start.
Hare Krishna. Accepting the shelter of a bona fide spiritual master. In the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, third chapter, verse 21, Prabhu had Maharaj naming, my dear king, please know for certain that in the material world there is no happiness. It is simply a mistake to think that there is happiness here because this place is full of nothing but miserable conditions. Any person who is seriously desirous of achieving real happiness must seek out a bona fide spiritual master and take shelter of him by initiation. The qualification of a spiritual master is that he must have realized the conclusion of the scriptures by deliberation and arguments and thus be able to convince others of these conclusions. Such great personalities who have taken shelter of the Supreme Godhead, leaving aside all material considerations, are to be understood as bona fide spiritual masters. Everyone should try to find such a bona fide spiritual master in order to fulfill his mission of life, which is to transfer himself to the plane of spiritual bliss. Should I read the second para, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji, please.
The purport is that one should not accept as a spiritual master someone who is fool number one, who has no direction according to the scriptural injunctions, whose character is doubtful, who does not follow the principles of devotional service, or who has not conquered the influence of the six sense gratifying agents. The six agents of sense gratification are the tongue, the genitals, the belly, anger, the mind, and words. Anyone who has practiced controlling these six is permitted to make disciples all over the world. To accept such a spiritual master is a crucial point for advancement in spiritual life. One who is fortunate enough to come under the shelter of a bona fide spiritual master is sure to traverse the path of spiritual salvation without any doubt. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. I need to see the screen now?
Yes, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Yes.
Okay. Mataji, you can read next section. Hare Krishna.
Oh, Mataji, whom did you call?
Mataji, you there?
Yeah.
I called you, Mataji.
Ah,
You
okay,
can
sorry,
read,
Mataji.
Mataji, the next section. Yeah.
I can. Accepting initiation from the spiritual master and receiving instructions from him. Sage Prabhupada continued to speak to the king as follows. My dear king, a disciple has to accept the spiritual master not only as spiritual master, but also as the representative of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and the Super Soul. In other words, the disciple should accept the spiritual master as God because he is the external manifestation of Krishna. This is confirmed in every scripture, and a disciple should accept the spiritual master as such. One should learn Srimad Bhagavatam seriously and with all respect and veneration for the spiritual master. Hearing and speaking Srimad Bhagavatam is a religious process which elevates one to the platform of serving and loving the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The attitude of the disciple should be to satisfy the bona fide spiritual master. Then it will be very easy for him to understand spiritual knowledge. This is confirmed in the Vedas, and Rupa Goswami will further explain that for a person who has unflinching faith in God and the spiritual master, everything becomes revealed very easily. Should I continue,
Hare
Mataji?
Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Mataji, let's discuss this, then we'll move forward.
Okay,
Thank you so
Mataji.
much. Hare Krishna. Yeah, so in the previous chapter, we read about the various principles that, principles for devotional service. So many things were discussed, and we read that there are 64 items. And out of that, there are 5 principal items that we should try to follow. So who remembers those 5 items?
Association with devotees, reading the scriptures, then Sankirtan,
Madhuravasa, worshipping deities.
Madhuravas, yes. Then
Then Nama Sankirtan.
Yes, and
Worship
one
of
very
deities.
important, hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. Yeah.
Yes.
So deity worship, hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, associating with devotees, Sankirtan and Mathuravas. Right? Yeah. So basically what we learned was that the 64 items of devotional service should include all of our activities of body, mind and speech. And, in the last paragraph, we read that it was stated in the beginning, the regulative principle of devotional service enjoins that all of our senses must be employed in the service of the Lord. See, because the idea is that at the last time, the last moment of our life, there should be Krishna Smaranam, right? And that's when we'll be able to pass over from this world and go to be with the Lord and serve the Lord personally. For that, it is a lifetime of preparation. And even one sense, if it is left loose, then it can cause our downfall. And that is why devotional service is so wonderfully arranged that all of our senses should be engaged in the service of the Lord. And if we see that, these 5 items of devotional service, the 5 main items, it is so nice that this will actually, it keep our body engaged, keep our mind engaged, so that there is no chance of, any sense going here and there. Everything should be connected to the Lord, and that's when the Lord will enter our heart. Okay. So now, Srila Rupa Goswami in this chapter is giving evidence from different scriptures supporting the authenticity of many of these points which we read in the previous chapter. So that's why chapter 7 is entitled Evidence Regarding Devotional Principles. Is my voice clear now, or is it still weak? Is it fine?
Clear, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah, just let me know if it becomes low or weak. Okay.
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah. So we read 2 sections. Mataji's read 2 sections. First is accepting the shelter of a bona fide spiritual master. And secondly, accepting initiation from the spiritual master and receiving instructions from him. So Srila Prabhupada is telling us why we should take the shelter of a spiritual master. And then he is also telling us which guru's shelter we should take. Okay. So the item that Srila Rupa Goswami gave is Guru Padashraya. And Srila Prabhupada very kindly for our benefit is elaborating further on that. For our, for our understanding and so that it really sinks in our heart. So Prabhupada is telling us that we have to accept a guru and we have to take instruction from the guru. And if we see in our history, in our Gaudiya Vaishnava history, our movement is a movement of taking instruction. Okay, taking instructions from the Guru is very, very important. That's why when we see in ISKCON, Diksha is not like something that you just take once and then, you never, you have no link with your Guru, you never hear from your Guru, or, it is just once in a lifetime kind of a thing. It's done and then Guru is somewhere else, you are somewhere else. No, even if physically we may be apart from our Guru, still through hearing from him, through associating with his other disciples, that connection between the Guru and the disciple always continues. Okay, so Prabhupada has said that any person who is seriously desirous of achieving real happiness must seek out a bona fide spiritual master and take shelter of him by initiation. The qualification of a spiritual master is that he must have realized the conclusion of the scriptures and he is able to convince others of these conclusions. So everyone should try to find a bona fide spiritual master in order to fulfill the mission of life. Our mission is not to just make this living, here comfortable. It's not the mission. Our mission is to finally move out of this material world and go back to our eternal home. And for that, it is of utmost importance that we seek out the shelter of a spiritual master. Okay, when Prabhupada has said, these six sense gratifying agents, one has to have conquered the influence of the six sense gratifying agents. So, do you remember which scripture, which verse this is where these six urges were mentioned? Anyone remembers?
Vacho vegam manasa krodha vegam.
Krodha Vegam, yes. Which
Jigva
scripture?
vegam.
Yeah,
Which
It was
book is
Nectar
that?
of Instruction, verse 1, Mataji.
So instruction,
Yes,
Mata,
Mataji.
the first one, first chapter.
First shloka, yes. Vacho vegam manasa krodha vegam. Yes, that one. So that verse was telling us that there are six urges, and one who has controlled these six urges, only such a person is eligible, such person is qualified to make disciples all over the world. And Prabhupada in here in the chapter 7, he's saying that one who is fortunate enough to come under the shelter of a bona fide spiritual master is sure to traverse the path of spiritual salvation without any doubt. So we just have to keep holding the lotus feet of our spiritual master. He's going to take us out of this material world. So our surrender towards Lord Krishna, we show that through surrender to our Guru Maharaj. So we have to understand that this relationship between a disciple and a guru, it's a very important relationship, and it is a relationship which is not limited by this particular birth. It continues from one birth to the other. If a disciple is not able to go back to Godhead in one birth, the guru is so merciful that they come again to take their disciple. But that does not mean that we become careless or, okay, I don't have to do anything. My guru is going to take care of everything. No, it is a duty of a disciple to very sincerely follow the instructions of the guru. One of the most important ways of serving the guru is to follow the instructions of the guru. If we are constantly seeking that, oh, my guru is traveling so much, I'm not able to meet him, I'm not able to get darshan, how will I serve my guru? We have to understand that one of the most important service that we can do is to follow the instructions that guru has given us. That the vow that we take at the time of Diksha, we have to very sincerely follow that. Otherwise, the Guru takes the hit for that. So, as a disciple, it becomes our very important responsibility that we follow all the vows that we take at the time of initiation. And His Holiness Srila Radhanath Swami says that initiation actually takes place at the moment when we surrender ourselves to our Guru. And the fire sacrifice that happens later, that is a celebration of the initiation. So we should not think that, okay, if I'm not yet received Harinam Diksha, yes, we should try our best, whatever we can. But sometimes there is a waiting period. And that's the time where, the Guru is also testing the disciple, that whether the disciple is really surrendered or not, is really sincere or not. But at this time also, as an aspiring disciple, it is our responsibility that we follow all the vows as strictly as we would if we really had received Harinam Diksha. So our Guru Maharaj is our Guru Maharaj from the moment we have surrendered to him in our heart. And this connection surpasses all limitations of time, place, circumstances. There is a very beautiful incident that I would like to quote here, which really tells us that the guru and disciple, they are connected through the heart, because the Paramatma is there in both their hearts, and guru is not an ordinary human being. The guru is really able to understand what is there in the disciple's heart. So once, this was in the 70s, I think late 60s, early 70s, when uh, the movement was just growing. So Her Grace Govinda Dasi Mataji quotes this, that there was, she had moved to a different place to set up a temple there. And she was just they were just, she and her husband, they were just in the process of setting up the temple. And to take care of the temple, she had taken up a job, in some organization. And Mataji says, I mean, she's a very advanced devotee. In her humility, she says that my consciousness had kind of diluted a bit because I was working in an organization. So I was kind of thinking about my work and all. So Mataji, in her humility, says that my consciousness had diluted a bit. And then they get the news that Srila Prabhupada wants to visit this new and upcoming center. And Mataji says that she really wanted to invite Prabhupada when the center had reached a certain level, and she wanted to wait a bit before inviting Prabhupada, but Prabhupada had made plans. So she was saying that when Prabhupada arrived, she still, had a bit of a feeling in her heart that, oh, I wish Prabhupada had come a little later so that we would have shown more glorious center to Prabhupada. And Mataji says that one day in the temple room, she was sitting near the altar. Prabhupada was sitting at the back on a chair, and he was chanting. Mataji was also chanting. And Mataji says that she just got the realization in her heart that Prabhupada has come to save her consciousness, because she felt that her consciousness was going down. And at this moment, chanting in the temple room, she just got this realization that Prabhupada came to save me. And when she felt that, she felt very deep emotion. When this thought came in her mind that did Prabhupada come to save me? And she felt very deep emotion, and she turned to look at Prabhupada. And at that moment, Prabhupada was nodding his head like he was saying yes. So, I mean, we can imagine that is how the connection between a disciple and guru is so deep. And many of Srila Prabhupada's disciples, early disciples, they say that there was a time period when Prabhupada was unwell in the US. So he moved to India to just recover, to recuperate. But at this time also, they felt that connection with Prabhupada very strongly. They were all very disheartened and sad that Prabhupada is going to India. But they say that they felt that Prabhupada was still with them. And that's what Srila Prabhupada told about his Guru Maharaj also, right? Once Yamuna Mataji, Her Grace Yamuna Mataji, asked him, Prabhupada, how many times did you meet your Guru Maharaj? And within a second, Prabhupada replied that I have not been separated from my Guru Maharaj from the moment I met him in 1922. I mean, we can imagine that's how strong our connection should be with our Guru Maharaj. And there is nothing lacking from their side. Presence of Srila Prabhupada in our life at every single moment. And then, then there is nothing, then there is nothing to worry now, because then we are never lonely. The problem comes when we just think that I am with my guru only when I see him physically. No, the disciple and the guru relationship is something way beyond all these limitations of time and place and circumstances. It is something which is at a much higher level. And this part about accepting initiation from the spiritual master, receiving instructions. So, as I was saying earlier, that our movement is a movement of accepting instructions. We see that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Rupa and Sanatan Goswamis, they took instruction from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They were still serving the Nawab, right? But they were corresponding with Mahaprabhu. They used to write him letters. And then one day, Lord Chaitanya came to Ramkeli, he met them. And at that time, there was no fire sacrifice as such, right? But that Diksha did happen. Yes, he did give them new names, but this whole mood of taking instruction, that was so strong. Rupa and Sanatan Goswamis, they completely offered their hearts and life to Lord Chaitanya. So the essence, the fire sacrifice is also very important. But we have to understand that the essence of Diksha is actually Siksha. Are we taking instructions from the Guru or not? That is formalized, through the fire sacrifice and the vow taking. That is formalized so that both the parties are aware of the seriousness of the relationship. But Diksha is the formalization so that Shiksha from the Guru can go on. It's like the formalization of education. And another very important thing to understand is like when we have initiated, like entering the university. And the Guru takes us only in the university. But the university has many teachers. So our spiritual master, he acts as our primary teacher. But there are teachers, just like in a university, there are many teachers. So one should not get fanatic about his own. See, there are some cases where the disciples are very fanatic. I'll not hear from anyone else. I'll only hear from my Guru. Everyone should take Diksha only from my Guru. Our loyalty towards our Guru should definitely be there. But we have to understand, this is also something that Srila Maharaj said, that the kind of feeling one person has for Guru, another person may have for his own Guru, someone else. So we have to understand, we have to recognize the Guru will be our primary.
I think she has connection issue.
What happened?
Nothing, the internet is not stable.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna. You're able to hear me now?
Yeah. Yes,
Breaking
Mataji.
little bit,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna.
Voice is breaking.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. Is it still breaking, Mataji?
And now it's better, Mataji. Now it's better.
Right? Okay, yeah. So I was saying that the Guru takes us formally in the university, but there are other teachers also, and we should not get fanatic about our Guru only, that I'll only listen from my Guru Maharaj, I'll not listen from anyone else. If we are doing this, we are saying that the other gurus are not qualified, okay, and that is disrespecting them. So we should not disrespect our parampara. We should have faith in the whole sampradaya. And so we should learn from, so we can have Hare Krishna. Sorry, I'm really sorry. It's just very bad weather. Because of that, everything is down here today.
Where are you staying, Mataji?
Voice is clear. I'm
Sorry?
in Bangalore.
Okay. Raining, hard there?
It's raining, Mataji.
Yeah,
Okay.
not lot of rain. Yeah, that's why major
Yeah.
problem.
Pune now it
Okay.
is sunny, Mataji.
Is it okay
Yeah,
now?
stop.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mataji.
Is it?
Yes,
Oh,
Mataji.
okay.
Yeah.
Bangalore, we have not seen sun for many days. Yeah. Okay. Let's try to just have a shorter rest today. Let's move forward. Now the voice is clear, right?
Yeah, yes, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. So I think that the spiritual master is our primary teacher, but there will be other shikshas also in our life. And we have to understand that our spiritual master is connecting us to Krishna by connecting us to the sampradaya, that is to Krishna. See, our whole sampradaya is connected to Krishna, right? Our spiritual master is connecting us to the sampradaya. And Srila Prabhupada is a preeminent Shiksha Guru for all of this. So GBC and all the way of devotees, we give the instructions to maintain connection to the Para. So Prabhupada, he stressed, and he has explained that this relationship between Guru and the Shishya is very important, and it should not be based on Krishna. Yeah. Just see if this keeps happening, then probably we'll stop the class and just try for another 5 minutes. So, Diksha not be based on popularity. That particular spiritual master is very popular, so I'll try to take Diksha from him, or he comes from the same state as mine, so I'll take Diksha from him. No, relationship that is most important in our life. So this decision to get a guru should not be taken sentimentally. It's a very, very crucial relationship. Take it. Can you read next section? The spiritual master faith and confidence. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Krishna Mataji.
Haan. Mataji, anyone who has the book, can you read next spiritual master with faith and confidence?
May I read, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji, please.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Serving the spiritual master with faith and confidence. Regarding accepting initiation from the spiritual master in the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, 17th chapter, verse 27, it is stated by Lord Krishna, "My dear Uddhav, the spiritual master must be accepted not only as my representative, but as my very self. He must never be considered on the same level with an ordinary human being. One should never be envious of the spiritual master as one may be envious of an ordinary man. The spiritual master should always be seen as the representative of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And by serving the spiritual master, one is able to serve all the demigods." May I
Yeah,
continue,
Mataji.
Mataji?
Yes, Mataji, please read.
Following in the footsteps of saintly persons. In the Skanda Purana, it is advised that a devotee follow the past acharyas and saintly persons, because by such following one can achieve the desired results with no chance of lamenting or being baffled in his progress. The scripture known as Brahma Yamla stated as follows: if someone wants to pose himself as a great devotee without following the authorities of the revealed scriptures, then his activities will never help him to make progress in devotional service. Instead, he will simply create disturbances for the sincere students of devotional service. Those who do not strictly follow the principles of revealed scriptures are generally called sahajiyas, those who have imagined everything to be cheap, who have their own con- concocted ideas, and who do not follow the scriptural injunctions. Such persons are simply creating disturbances in the discharge of devotional service. In this connection, an objection may be raised by those who are not devotional service and who do not care for the revealed scriptures. An example of this is seen in Buddhist philosophy. Lord Buddha appeared in the family of a high grade Kshatriya king but his philosophy was not in accord with Vedic conclusions and therefore was rejected. Under the patronage of a Hindu king, Maharaja Ashoka, the Buddhist religion was spread all over India and the adjoining countries. However, after the appearance of the great stalwart teacher Sankaracharya, this Buddhism was driven out beyond the borders of India. The
Yeah, Hare
Buddhism,
Krishna Mataji. Yeah,
yeah,
Mataji. You can stop
Hare
here. Yeah,
Krishna.
thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Anyone else wants to complete this section, 2 paras?
I'll read Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. The Buddhists or other religionists who do not care for revealed scriptures sometimes say that there are many devotees of Lord Buddha who show devotional service to Lord Buddha and who therefore should be considered devotees. In answer to this argument, Rupa Goswami says that the followers of Buddha cannot be accepted as devotees. Although Lord Buddha is accepted as an incarnation of Krishna, the followers of such incarnations are not very advanced in their knowledge of the Vedas. To study the Vedas means to come to the conclusion of the supremacy of the personality of Godhead. Therefore, any religious principle which denies the supremacy of the personality of Godhead is not accepted and is called atheism. Atheism means defying the authority of the Vedas and decrying the great acharyas who teach Vedic scriptures for the benefit of the people in general. Lord Buddha is accepted as an incarnation of Krishna in the Srimad Bhagavatam, but in the same Srimad Bhagavatam, it is stated that Lord Buddha appeared in order to bewilder the atheistic class of men. Therefore, his philosophy is meant for bewildering the atheists and should not be accepted. If someone asks why should Krishna propagate atheistic principles, the answer is that it was a desire of the Supreme Personality of Godhead to end the violence which was being committed in the name of the Vedas. The so-called religionists were falsely using the Vedas to justify such violent acts as meat eating, and Lord Buddha came to lead the fallen people away from such a false interpretation of the Vedas. Also, for the atheists, Lord Buddha preached atheism so that they would follow him and thus be tricked into devotional service to Lord Buddha or Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. Yes. So now we read about 2 sections: serving the spiritual master with faith and confidence, and following in the footsteps of saintly person. So when we take initiation, then we know that Krishna will give us instruction through the Guru. So we have to render service to the Guru. We should never blaspheme the Guru. And as I said earlier, that hearing from the Guru is also a very important seva. So we should not think that if we are not physically near our Guru, then we cannot serve them. And every Guru will have a different mood. Like some may have a mood more of preaching, some may have a more mood of book distribution, or opening some new temples or dham seva. So we have to understand what is the mood of our Guru, and then try to get some instructions from our Guru and try to follow that. And then there will also be some general instructions which our Guru might be giving, that is for everyone, and we should definitely try to follow that. So here in this connection, Srila Prabhupada said that we should all try to take some responsibility in the movement. It can be any seva, but we should take some responsibility, something that we commit ourselves to. And we have to try and not be a guest in Krishna consciousness all our life. We should try to become a host. See, because a guest, when they come, they don't do any work, and they expect to be cared for, right? But when we become a host, then we work and we care for others. So when we take responsibility, then we become the host. Something that we are responsible for, something that we really commit that we are going to take part in, or take the responsibility for. And it doesn't always have to be something very big. It can be small sevas also. But then taking that responsibility on ourselves, that shift we need to bring from becoming a guest in Krishna consciousness to a host in Krishna consciousness. And there'll always be temple authorities that we should hear from, follow instructions that they are giving. So in this way, we should always try to serve our Guru and other saintly persons. And we have to be aware that whenever we are connected to a temple, We'll have Shiksha Gurus there. So their instructions are also very important. We should definitely try our best to follow their instructions. But here Prabhupada is cautioning us that we have to be careful that we follow Vaishnavas or other sampradayas also. We respect them, but we should follow only those Vaishnavas whose mood is same as Srila Prabhupada's mood and the mood of our parampara. See, because there are other Vaishnava sampradayas also, right? And we have full respect for them, but the mood is different between each sampradaya. So we have to be careful that we don't start going out of the mood that Srila Prabhupada has given us. And Prabhupada gives the example of Buddhist philosophy here, that Lord Buddha, yes, he is an incarnation of Lord Krishna, but his philosophy was not in accordance with the Vedic conclusions. Okay, and the Buddhists, they don't believe in the scriptures, right? And Srila Rupa Goswami says that the followers of Buddha cannot be accepted as devotees. Although Lord Buddha is definitely an incarnation of Lord Krishna, but the followers of Lord Buddha don't have knowledge or faith in the Vedas. So to study the Vedas means to come to the conclusion of the supremacy of Lord Krishna. Therefore, any religious principle which denies the supremacy of Lord Krishna is not accepted, and that is called atheism. And we have to understand that Lord Buddha came for a very specific purpose. See, at that time, the way society was, there was a lot of meat eating, lot of animal killing that was taking place. And people were misusing the scriptures, they were misusing the Vedas and indulging in all these activities. So Lord Krishna, he incarnated as Lord Buddha to just make them stop doing these things. And after this, again, he sends Lord Shiva as Shankaracharya to bring back the scriptures in a subtle form. And then Ramanujacharya came to bring bhakti in a very big way. So this was a whole process that was followed. And we can understand this as with the example that when there is a small child, this child doesn't understand the value of a 500 rupee note. Na? So child may just go and tear that note. So if the mother sees that the child is holding a 500 rupee note, then what will the mother do? She will come and just take the note away. She just snatch it from the child's hand, because at this time the child is too young to understand what is the value of that note. Later, when the child is big enough, the mother will herself give the child that 500 rupee note, that okay, you can go and buy things for you. In the same way, at that time, the consciousness of people was such that the Vedas had to be just taken away and later brought back when people were ready to accept the value of the Vedas. Okay. So, also another thing is that Lord Buddha is an incarnation of Krishna. So when they worship him, they are kind of, even though they don't believe in scriptures and all that kind of worship, by worshipping Lord Buddha, they are being tricked into devotional service to Lord Buddha or Krishna. So that is how the Lord plans everything. Okay. Now let's read the next section, inquiring about eternal religious principles. Anyone who has a book? Mataji's? Padma Mataji, you want to read? You have the book now?
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah.
Okay. The Buddhists or the religionists
No.
who do not care for revealed scriptures.
No, Mataji, inquiring about eternal religious principles.
Okay,
that
the next
heading.
page.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mataji.
Yeah,
Inquiring
no
about eternal religious principles. In the Narada Purana, it is said, if one is actually very serious about devotional service, then all of his purposes will be served without any delay. Being prepared to give up everything material for Krishna's satisfaction. In the Padma Purana, it is stated, for one who has given up his material sense enjoyment and has accepted the principles of devotional service, the opulence of Vishnu Loka, the kingdom of God is awaiting.
Yeah, Mataji, let's stop here. Yeah, just these two. Thank you, Mataji. Yeah, so inquiring about eternal religious principles. So, like Prabhupada is stating here that in the Naradiya Puran, it is said that if one is very serious about bhakti, about devotional service, then all of his purposes will be served without any delay. And if we are serious, then we will have questions. There will be so many things they want clarity about doing this right, or is anything that we read in scripture, if we really want to have understanding very nicely, then we will have questions, and we should direct these questions with the proper authority and get answers. So our inquiry should be inquisitive and it should be sincere. Like in Bhagavad Gita, we see Dhritarashtra is also asking question and Arjuna is also asking question. But Dhritarashtra, he doesn't have that sincerity. He doesn't want to understand the meaning of life or understand his dharma. He doesn't have that kind of consciousness. Okay, but Arjuna's inquiries, we see they are very deep. He wanted to know what is the right path of action, what are the real principles of spiritual life. So our inquiries should be like that of Arjuna. Sometimes there are some questions devotees will ask that, if the spiritual world is like this, then, like lotus petals, then what is there on this petal, what is there on that petal. So I heard that His Grace Amogila Prabhu saying that, in answer to a particular question which really did not have any practicality, Prabhu asked that how will this help your bhakti. Any question that we are asking, it should not be just that I want to show my intellectual skills, that I have read this, I have read that, and I just want to make a show of that. No, it should be a very deep hearted, very sincere inquiry that we make. And that's when, that kind of an inquiry will really bring us more enlightenment. Then the next section, being prepared to give up everything material for Krishna's satisfaction. So this means that, for Krishna, anything that we have, any material attachment, we should be ready to give that up. Because if the heart is full of material things, then there is no place for Krishna there. Now, this doesn't mean that we have to immediately leave our homes and families. No, it is that attachment, right? That attachment to these materialistic things. If we are using everything, our house, our resources, our money, our body, we are using everything in Krishna's service, then that's the best thing. But other things, which are distracting us from the path of bhakti, any material thoughts, any material attachments, which are taking so much place in our heart that there is no place for Krishna there. If our heart is so full of material things, then there is no place for Krishna. So we should have the willingness to sacrifice. And if we give up things which are unfavorable, then there is space for Krishna. And then when we are charmed by Krishna, enamored by Krishna, then Krishna enters the heart, and then we can go back to Krishna. So here also, it also means that we follow the four regulative principles, the do's and don'ts. Anything that is unfavorable for bhakti, we give that up. Things which are favorable, we take them up. And in Chaturmasya, we can take up more vows also. So on, these things are, so many things are recommended. So we have to follow all those things and understand that any kind of an activity we do, which is unfavorable to bhakti, it is just polluting our heart more and more. Okay, we have to make place for Krishna in our heart through all kinds of devotional activities and giving up the non-devotional activities as much as possible. Okay, so today let's just stop here because the next section starts after this, residing in a secret place. So with the network issues and all, I don't want to start a new section right now. So let's stop here today. If you have any questions or any realizations about what we read, then we can discuss that for a few minutes.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, can I ask you a question?
Yes, Mataji, please.
This was, they're working my mind, Mataji. I want a little clarification on this Chaturmasya Vrat.
Yes.
Is it compulsory or what is it? What is it for? Can you kindly explain?
Yeah, Mataji, actually, if we see, it's all very logical. It is all very scientific, the kind of things that we are told to avoid. Like, for example, green leafy vegetables. We start with that, no?
Yeah.
So rainy season, there are a lot of insects that are found in these
yes,
vegetables, right?
We don't generally eat,
so better to avoid. So many there are devotees who are not able to follow Chaturmas, all these things, but it's actually very logical and very practical. It's for our benefit only, and we can see it as some little tapasya that we do because we really want to get closer to Krishna. But it is also very practical. So leafy vegetables are to be avoided. Then we have milk, right? So the logic is that the cows would have eaten those same grass of the rainy season. So maybe the milk is not very good. And then curd also, which is made from that milk, it's not very good, not very easy to digest in the rainy season. And then like urad dal again, it is hard to digest in the rainy season because the
Yeah.
sun is not there, so our digestion is anyways weak. So urad dal is considered very difficult to digest. So it's all actually very practical and logical. And it is also a small tapasya that we do. It's a chance for us to show our sincerity. So it's like that, Mataji. I mean, to whatever extent we can do, considering our health, uh, we should try to do. But we don't have to like go to an extreme where it something is not suiting our health, and then it starts affecting our bhajan. But practically, whatever is possible, we should try to do. Okay,
Okay,
Mataji?
Mataji. I was just wondering why what's the logic behind it?
Yeah,
Thank
Mataji.
you,
This is
Mataji, for
only
your
the logic.
explanation.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Thank you
Otherwise,
all
it's
so
not
much. And
compulsory,
again,
Mataji. Otherwise, it's not compulsory.
no, Mataji, it's not. No. Many devotees are not able to do because
Yeah.
of some practical reasons. So if it is as much as possible, we should try, Mataji.
Yes, yes.
Okay, but everyone has different health,
Issues, yeah.
condition, issues. So we have to see that, and we can take guidance from our seniors. That if I'm not able to do something, we can just ask them. And I mean, it is a kind of tapasya that we take up. And other devotees, they take up different things. Like in Kartik month, some devotees take a tapasya that they'll not eat any sweets. So all these things, is just taking some austerity for more purification.
Yeah.
But again, we should be very practical. And most important is our chanting and our reading, hearing. That should not get affected adversely.
Yes. During the Kartik month, of course, we all do, Mataji.
Yes,
Because that has been a practice and that's very rewarding
Yeah.
also.
Yeah, it's very purifying, Mataji.
Yeah.
Yes. True. Yeah. Okay. Thank you for the
Okay,
question,
thank you,
Mataji.
Mataji.
Thank you all. Thank you for your patience. Very sorry about the network issues today.
It's okay, Mataji. No problem.
Yeah. So see you all next week. Yeah. Thank you so much. Vancha kalpatrubhyascha kripa sindhubhyevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah anant koti vaishnava jai Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu ki jai, Nectar of Devotion ki jai, Srila Rupa Goswami ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Maharaj ki jai.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Mataji.
Hare
Hare
Pranam.
Krishna.
Thank you all so much. Hare
Pranam.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna pranams.